Obviously, the big story in the world of movie fandom and everything right now is everything that's going on at DC. Clearly, they're in the middle of a total reshuffle, whether that's going to be a full reboot, a soft reboot, whatever it's going to be. They got a lot of changes coming, and we are eagerly anticipating January, February to get here so Peter Safran and James Gunn can start telling us about some of these active changes. We know some of the things that are being taken away, but what are the things that are going to be added? We'll find that out shortly. Now, obviously, a lot of theories have been going around, like it's going to be an absolute complete page one reboot, start to finish. Some people think it'll be mostly a reboot, but they're going to keep a couple of pieces around. One predominant theory was that James Gunn is going to keep his Suicide Squad. Now, that's one of the more popular ones that we saw running around, that James Gunn will reboot the DCU except the Suicide Squad because it was a critical darling and all that kind of stuff. Peacemaker was a part of that, and Peacemaker was the #1 show in the world while it was running. So they're going to do all that. Well, James Gunn, while he's not giving us a lot of new details about what is coming, he's been pretty active about debunking fake rumors, and he's come out to debunk this one. This one's over on CBR, but James Gunn has now officially debunked the idea that, specifically, that he was going to reboot everything in the DCU except for the Suicide Squad. In response to a Twitter user asking him, or who made this comment, "Who knows if it's true, but recasting all the main DCU characters, but keeping some. Will be interesting how Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad characters live on, but the others don't, particularly when they have all interacted together." Now, James Gunn followed that up by saying this specifically, "I keep seeing posts with this untrue theory. We are not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad." All right, I'll read that part again. "I keep seeing posts with this untrue theory that they're going to recast everything except James Gunn's Suicide Squad. This is an untrue theory. We are not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad." Okay. James Gunn bringing in some clarification, but not a lot. Because, okay, you're not recasting everyone except the Suicide Squad. Okay. But he doesn't actually tell us, does that mean you aren't recasting everyone and Suicide Squad will be kept in place and some others? Are you saying everyone is being recast and Suicide Squad is not immune to that? So again, he debunked a very specific rumor that everyone is getting recast except Suicide Squad, but he's not real clear on that, which is fair. He should be vague right now. But still, does this mean Suicide Squad is getting recast? We don't know. This tweet doesn't actually answer that. Is everybody else getting recast? We don't know. This tweet doesn't actually answer that. All we know is that it's not going to be everybody else except Suicide Squad. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of this video, DraftKings. This time of year, everyone's excited for the holiday spirit, but what about all the basketball? When it's time to throw down on the NBA action, it's gotta be with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet just $5 pregame moneyline on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Plus, everyone can combine multiple bets for a bigger payout with DraftKings same game parlays. Just download the DraftKings app, use the code Campea, place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win, and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code Campea only at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gaming resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonuses issued as free bets. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Rob, this brings up the question again that we've been kind of batting around here for a while, and we probably will continue to bat around till mid-January or February. Obviously, big changes coming to DC.
Big changes.
But is it a total, complete, page one, clean slate reboot? Is this something a little bit short of that? I have thought for a long time, well, it can't be 100% because we know they're going to do Peacemaker Season 2. All you have to do is retcon a couple of minor things in there and you can do it. But then you brought up very wisely yesterday on the show that, well, no. They can get Peacemaker Season 2 out before the reboot happens and then still reboot everything. So I don't know. At this point, seeing now this tweet from James Gunn, what do you think about, how do you interpret James Gunn's tweet here? And Is it going to be a complete clean slate? Is it going to be clean slate, sort of, but they're going to bring some pieces over? What do you take at this point?
Well, I would say first, you have to look at, this is a business. It's all about what has made money. Aquaman, I would look to Aquaman and go, okay, Aquaman made $1 billion. They have Aquaman the Lost Kingdom, which, by the way, was finished a long time ago. They're deep into the post on that movie. They know if it's great or not. Well, if it looks to be as great as the first movie, why would you get rid of $1 billion franchise? I mean, if the movie, reboot or not, from a studio perspective, you've already reached that $1 billion level with the first movie. There's no reason to suspect if the next movie is great. It's also James Wan and Peter Safran producing. Why would a producer want to get rid of that franchise? Especially if they're looking at it going, great, let's make a third one. You know, so I could absolutely see, and we've already had Jason Momoa say, thank you, James Gunn. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to play Lobo. I would say that James Gunn's knowing, no, we're going to finish your Aquaman trilogy. We're gonna finish that. We're going to give you that Aquaman movie, and then maybe you'll be Logo. Who knows? Because why would you dump that? And I would even say this, John, as much as Wonder Woman 84 was, I hated it, and it obviously didn't do well. The first one did well. 800
The first one was great.
So they didn't like Patty Jenkins, her take on it. But remember, she didn't even develop the first Aquaman. I mean, the first Wonder Woman. She stepped in and took over. So Gal Gadot, people like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Maybe they have plans to do it. They? Well, I mean, I would say the first one was
majority.
But I would say I would say, look, and also Peacemaker, you know they're getting that season 2. So in addition to the DC reboot will happen with Superman, as we know, James Gunn's writing it. But that reboot might come at the end of 2024 or even the beginning of 2025. They might just say reboot time is 2025. We're going to get another Aquaman in. We're going to get another Wonder Woman movie in. We're getting Peacemaker in. We might even make another Suicide Squad film in.
I can't see that happening.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to do all of it, but why would you get rid of Aquaman?
Because it's part of a bigger machine that's not working.
But that worked.
That one piece.
Aquaman, yes. So I'm saying
do you pump the brakes on the entire operation that is not working because one piece is working? I don't know.
I mean, the same argument can be made for Henry Cavill because everybody, maybe Man of Steel itself. I mean, you and I both really love Man of Steel, right? Now,
all three of us love Man of Steel.
But the thing with Man of Steel, the difference with Henry Cavill is that even though that movie made, let's say, a disappointing $500 million, which is still a good number, by the ill will that from a lot of people from getting rid of him already, it has done. If you're gonna make a move like that, you got to make a move all in because then people are going to go, well, wait a minute, you're keeping Aquaman, but you got rid of Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is a piece that was working. Maybe his movies and Batman and Superman, he didn't get a chance to shine in the way that he did, but Henry Cavill was working. Henry Cavill was the piece that was getting everyone excited. I still think that they could have done something inside of like a different timeline to bring him back. I understand. I'm with you, John, in the fact that I think that I'm really bummed that he's gone. I understand why they made the choice, but I still think they could have made it work, but they don't want to go in that direction. I think that's the same thing with Patty Jenkins and Aquaman and all that.
But I think the thing about the Aquaman movie made $1 billion. Regardless, it did well and made money. And a studio is not. See, the thing is, we have to think in these terms from only a business perspective. And none of the Henry Cavill movies ever achieved the kind of box office that they were expected to achieve ever. Right. And so it just becomes an academic argument. I love it. We all love Henry. We love Henry Cavill.
There's two sides of it too, though. There's also another side of this that the rumors were inside, or more of even a report with Patty Jenkins when she came in and said, "Okay, here's the what I have," and they said, "Well, we're going in this particular direction, and can you make this work?" Whatever the conflicting reports are, but it looked like they were still willing to have a conversation with her at some point about doing the next movie. So maybe you're right. Maybe that could be a case in where they're saying to James Wan, hey, we want to take Aquaman in this direction. Do you think that you can make that work? That's possible. I just think if you're going to make that move with Henry Cavill and you already know, because if you see James Gunn's tweets, he knew this kind of thing. He knew this wave of backlash was coming. You got to be prepared for that because of how beloved Henry Cavill is. So if you're gonna do it, just brace for the hit. Now, I understand your argument with the box office, the money, but the other idea of that is to believe in the product that you have moving forward, saying, okay, yes, we have a movie that can make $1 billion. This one could as well. I don't think they're going to go past because they had said after Aquaman is when their phase is going to start. Now, I still think that it's a risk, because there are a lot of people going, why am I getting invested in these movies if they're not going to have anything to do with this new DCU movie? And I guess the argument can be made then, well, the Batman doesn't have anything to do with the DCU, so you go because you want to see the story that these creators were telling. But I understand also the other side of it, of people going, but I'm not being rewarded anymore. I thought I was being rewarded by seeing by being attached to these characters because I want to see where they're going to go next. If they leave me with this cliffhanger at the end of this thing, where am I going? I get that. I understand that. So it's a very tricky situation that they're in right now.
But it's only a tricky situation for a very small percentage of the audience, because most moviegoers don't care.
I agree with you. Yeah, but,
I mean,
loud voices.
That's the point, though. Exactly, Rob. Most moviegoers have not bought into the DCU as it is, and I don't know. I mean, I've been singing this song for a while. I don't know that you can go, well, if the whole thing is a sick donkey, you put the donkey down. You don't go, well, you know what? Its liver still works really well. And I think you're talking about it's about business, right?
Aquaman's not sick.
Well, here's the problem. But it's a part of a larger organism that is.
Right.
And are you holding back good business by trying to hold on to one small piece? Because one $1 billion film is not equivalent to 4 $800 million films. You know what I mean? And I think if you are going to hurt your relaunch by trying to keep, and you bring up a great point, you get rid of Henry Cavill, my boy, but you keep Jason Momoa? I mean, that becomes very problematic for them.
What about Shazam? What about Shazam?
Yeah, well, Shazam's gone too.
Right.
But
That's what I mean.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's
Okay,
only
just quickly though, because we got to move
there's
on.
only one Aquaman movie, and it made $1 billion.
Yeah, the
Right.
next one won't.
But
The next one won't.
how do you know? What if
Because
it's great?
the audience was not as. I mean, of course, a fucking Peppa the Pig movie could make $1 billion.
Hey,
if it's
Peppa.
great.
My kids
But
love Peppa.
I'm just saying, like, yeah. How do you know? Well, we don't. But look, odds are. Is anybody willing to put $1,000 right now that the next? Now remember, I completely didn't believe the first Aquaman movie would make $1 billion, and it did. So keep that. in
I'm
mind.
willing to bet the next Aquaman movie will make $1 billion. There's
Really?
no reason to think it won't.
Everybody loves jumping in muddy puddles.
It was not as well. Like, it made $1 billion, but it wasn't super well received.
Chris is checked
It
out.
wasn't super well received.
I think $1 billion proves that it was.
Transformers movie made $1 billion. It was not super well received. So no, it doesn't prove
Well,
that
it wasn't super well received among the
I mean,
fan
you and I
base.
liked it. You and I liked
loved
it.
Aquaman.
A lot of people did, but
You
I don't think the next one's going to make $1 billion.
Are you going to see Peppa Pig in the theaters?
No.
All right. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. James Gunn's tweet here raises the question again. What kind of obviously we're getting some kind of restart, but what kind of a restart? Will it be a full-blown page one blank slate restart? Will it be a pseudo restart where certain pieces get left in place? Do they still try to function and utilize and leverage, say, a Flashpoint movie to do such a soft reboot? I mean, there's still a lot of big questions in the air. What do you think is going to be happening here? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.